How's it going, Dokkan Ninja Turtles? Welcome back to another video. If you're looking at this, yes, this is a review. You know, my videos are normally not like this. I'm normally not looking up at you in a video, and my microphone is necessarily not like this whatsoever at all. This is really just to be fair for the new product that I'm actually going to be getting, which is another microphone that was sent out to me by Maono. So just to be fair with it and how that microphone is sort of structured and stuff like that, I do have this situated in the same way because I will be using that new microphone in this video, so you can give me sort of the feedback as well too, and I can actually listen to the feedback as well with the same settings that I currently have for this microphone right now, which is a Fifine AM8 microphone that I've been using for quite a bit now on my videos and also streams. It is actually my go-to microphone. This is the microphone that I love the most, and I'm glazing it a lot because I have very high hopes that the microphone that was just sent out to me will actually replace this microphone in my videos and also my streams. So if you're wondering about this microphone, I'm going to show you to you in a second, but I want to talk about a couple of things really quick. So I have done one other review from Maono of their microphone before that they sent me that was kind of gimmicky, was pretty much going up against this one, even though this one had already been out at that time. It was kind of sort of going up against this in that same budget bracket, and I think it was somewhere around like the $50 to $60 budget bracket or something like this. The new one is actually above that bracket. It is a $100 microphone. So like I said, I do have high hopes for this microphone. The build quality, I've already opened it up before just to make sure and inspect everything that was still there before I do the review. That way I could have all the product parts and know that I can actually properly, you know, conduct a video review. Now, I'm going to say the other microphone was, like I said, it was a little bit gimmicky, and it was pretty much going to speak only to a few people out there that really wanted sort of that RGB sort of vibe when it comes to microphones. Now, I'm taking it out of the box for the old microphone to sort of show you that this is what I'm talking about. This was their PD300X microphone that was basically RGB. This whole white gray section right here is actually a sort of clear for the color. The build quality was a little lacking. This is probably like the lightest microphone that I've actually received from any company whatsoever at all. And I would like to be transparent about that, is that I do not take any money from these whatsoever at all, nor am I offered. This is just a product review that they send me out. And like I said, if there is one that that intrigues me just a tiny bit, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and review this, I will review it and give my honest opinions. And that's what they value. They value the honesty from these product reviews, and that's what I'm all about when it comes to these. So like I said, that one was basically gimmicky. If you were someone that really liked RGB a lot and you necessarily needed RGB for your setup to sort of spice up your video, anything like that, then you're probably looking at that one, especially for your budget sort of price point. And I'm pretty sure at this point in time, that microphone might be even cheaper than what it was at that point in time. So, and I'm pretty sure it was somewhere around the $50 to $60 range. And like I said, it might be cheaper than that currently right now, where the time has passed and stuff like that. And they're even on to their new microphones. So let's talk about the new microphones, what you're really here, what you really clicked on to actually see, and what I'm sort of talking about and kind of glazing. This is the new PD300X USB XLR dynamic microphone. Now, I'm going to say this. This is probably the best built quality microphone that has actually been sent to me. And that's actually saying a lot, seeing as I am pretty big on Fifine and their microphones. Again, I am using theirs right now. And this, again, it does have RGB on it. This one, you can currently see on the box, does not have any sort of RGB whatsoever at all. And let me just read off a couple of things from the back, because one of the things that really intrigued me the most is that this actually came with a shock mount, and a pretty good shock mount at that when I actually seen it. And so you can see right down through here, if it's going to actually, well, regardless, there is the stand adapter. You can see the 3-in-1 digital knob with the mic gain control, headphone volume, and also monitor mix. You see that it's USB-C. Now, I will say this right off the bat, though. Going through this one, I wasn't necessarily that disappointed that it didn't come with a XLR cable, as I really don't really use the XLR cable all that much, because it really just depends on if you want to use it or not. I mean, I'm using the USB, and the USB really works just fine. So that's not really an issue whatsoever at all. And if it is an issue for you, then you might just have to pick up yourself one, and that'll be that. And it's usually pretty much universal. They'll work with all of them, unless there's like a brand out there that really only needs to have their own XLR cable. You can pretty much just fast swap these at any point in time, and it's pretty quick to do it. And it also comes with an adapter piece actually in this So whatever your boom arm is, you should have an adapter piece that does work with the fitting. So that's not an issue whatsoever at all. I actually very much did enjoy that that was actually in the box, because normally you have to scramble around and look for something else. Like I had to scramble around and look for other things when it comes to other microphones that I reviewed, just to sort of see if I had something that actually fitted that I can actually put on the boom arm. So very excited and happy that that was actually in there. Is, you know, you do still have your standard mute button on it, which is great. The great thing about this, one of the build quads, was that this is definitely one of the most heaviest ones that's actually been sent out to me, especially from Maono, which I was shocked when I picked this box up for the first time. It's a full metal body. Now, like I said, you can see from the part right up here where you're like, oh, this actually looks pretty solid. Like it's going for that studio, like that premium studio look. And I hope that the sound is actually premium, which you'll again be able to see once I switch these out and hear for yourself really quick, so I can actually show you a couple of things. Like I said, cables and stuff like that is actually in here. It's just a USB-C. It's pretty much the same as before. If you've seen one video, you've seen them all when it comes to that. Now, the microphone itself is, I couldn't believe how heavy this microphone is, like legitly how heavy, even with the shock mount and stuff. So it's a pretty microphone. Like I'm actually not going to lie to you. I really don't want to overglaze it, but it's legitly a pretty microphone. And you can see that this is like built in, like the screws for the shock mount, they're all like, I don't know if I can actually get that. Yeah, you can see a little bit in there. It's legitly screwed in. This is actually a thick, like hard rubber that's in it. So you can see that I'm moving this in. Like one of the things that I've had an issue with a lot, then you probably can sort of hear it if you're a main on the channel and stuff like that, is that whenever I move the boom arm and stuff like that, like this microphone picks that up a lot. I'm really hoping that this microphone, when I move it around, when I turn to this way or I turn to that way, if I get up and I move, like I hope you can't like hear all of that. Like this is why I'm moving this at this point in time, is so it catches that at that point. You can actually hear that whether you have headphones or not in. Like I'm hoping that with this, it does not catch that whatsoever at all. Like I said, this does come at in $100 price point. And I gotta say, from just build quality alone, it's like night and day from this, from the PDX3, from the PD300X, from the 100X. Like it's night and day. And I'm super excited to actually get this went in. So you can see that you have your XLR and your USB, and then you also have for your microphone that you can, again, control all of this in with actually their own software as well, that you can go ahead and use like your QR code and download for yourself. Have high hopes for this microphone. And like I said, with the build quality alone, this is pretty nice. It almost stopped me for a second when I was like clicking it so many times. It actually stopped, but that's a really good premium click sound. Like I was not expecting, like with this one, it's more of like a touch, and sometimes you can mistouch at any point and mute yourself out of nowhere, or forget to mute yourself because you think you muted it and you didn't mute it. This feels really, really good. And just having that out, you can sort of see where you have all of the holes in here. Like you can just already see that that was completely different. Like I'm going to actually pull out the other one so you can see this, and completely different from this one. You can literally see the build quality is different already. So like I said, I have high hopes for this. I looked at that because as soon as I did that, the adapter piece just popped off from the 100X. So yeah, I'm going to get back to you once I've actually put this in and set this one up and use the same sort of settings that I have for this one. I want to see how this looks on camera, and also the sound quality, if it's a whole lot different than it is from, again, my go-to microphone that I'm using currently right now. Okay, so now having the microphone actually put in, I can sort of tell you right now that this microphone does come standard all the way turned up, like in its own settings from the microphone. So there's a thing that I think I showed it beforehand, but the button that you can actually click. So I think you can see it here too. But yeah, like this button that you can see right here, you can actually click it in and it will actually control the microphone uh settings. Like I was not expecting that whatsoever at all. I actually stumbled upon this one when I was actually setting it up. I was like, oh, I could click in, because at first I was just doing the knob and it was blue. Like the actual color was blue, and I was like, oh, okay, that's different. I wasn't expecting that whatsoever at all. But when I clicked it, I was like, oh, okay. So I was controlling the actual headphone like levels, and not the actual microphone levels. So that was something I wasn't really necessarily expecting. Now, one of the things I do want to try is that I do have this turned halfway like I did beforehand. And like I said, I just took this microphone off, and you can sort of see right here that the first sort of knob right there is a little under half. And that's how that microphone was performing. Like I said, I have not changed any of the settings whatsoever at all. I'm sort of trying to stay in the same sort of range that I did with the other microphone, and not try to lean back too much, or lean back or lean forward too much, or to the side or anything like that. I'm sort of trying to stay directly in front of this microphone so you can actually get a little bit more of the sound. Now, one of the things I'm going to say right off the bat is that I do like the fact that this size is so it's almost like compact, but it gives me free range. And as someone that talks with their hands a lot, whether I'm on stream and also in videos, having all of this space and not being worried about like hitting my microphone at any point in time, which is something that I did a lot. Uh, it's really great to actually have that. And like I said, I hope that the audio is translating a lot more, because again, like turning it down, and I'm looking over here and I'm like nowhere near the red marks of the spike or anything whatsoever at all. I have the same sort of settings. Again, I will regurgitate that. I have the same settings that I did as the beginning of this video with the other microphone. So I have not switched anything whatsoever at all. All I did was turn this down so it would be on equal footing with the other microphones. And I'm pretty sure I have very high hopes that this microphone is actually doing wonders. Just for the simple fact that I'm not seeing this microphone spike whatsoever at all, and it's staying in a consistent sort of rate of where I can see it currently right now that I'm viewing. Like, I can see it staying at that same spot, like, and I don't wanna yell too much or anything like that, because at that point in time, then it will spike. But I actually listened to the first part of this video before I started this one, and I could hear a little bit of the spiking and stuff like that before I was in, like, the software's editing and stuff like that for the video. I could see that a lot, and like I said, I'm looking at both, spots of this audio, and I'm not seeing any sort of spikes at all. I very much enjoy that a lot. And like going back and looking at this microphone again and just seeing the features that it really had was the real time monitoring. Obviously, I set the Maino link that you can literally at any point in time, if you do order you one and stuff like that, they have their QR codes that you can scan and actually get the software for free that will literally give you way more options than like OBS or something like that to actually control this microphone and get that precise sort of quality setting that you're listening that you're wanting to hear the most. Advanced DPS function. The sampling rate is actually a 192 kilohertz and or 24 bit. Like again, all metal body. The shock mount that's actually included, which again, I personally think that that shock mount is very good because I have an older boom arm, and that boom arm sort of squeaks and stuff like that every now and then. I've tightened it up quite a bit, but it still has like that sort of feel. Like I'm moving it a little bit, and it's probably picking up the microphone on the microphone quite a bit because I'm moving it. But like when I'm nowhere near it and stuff like that, it's actually pretty solid. I can still see that I'm nowhere near spiking whatsoever at all. Like I'm very excited for this one. Like I even showed you a little bit. If I remember if I still have that footage or not. I think I showed you the other Mano one where I took it off and you can sort of see how cheaply made that was. Well, this one you can actually see all the holes for the grill and stuff like that that was there, keeping it in. It's really, really, really nice. Matter of fact, I kind of want to take that off for a second, just the screen, and talk freely for a second just to see the difference with that, because like I said, I know a lot of people, you're definitely going to use this one, but just for the one that's there and the cushion that you can sort of see with it, it's pretty thick. Like it's pretty thick, so I'm pretty sure that the sound probably sounds a whole lot different with this off. And when I put it back on, but yeah, I have nothing but high hopes for this one. Like I said, the links will be in the description below that will take you to this microphone and also the website that you can go ahead and play around with, because they do have quite a bit of other microphones that are more expensive than even this one. And like I said beforehand, I would not count this as a budget microphone whatsoever at all. And they're not marketing it as a budget microphone. I just want to be very clear with that one. This, like I said, it's $100. Like I said, quite a bit in other videos and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure I said it in this video earlier. But for that, like $50 to maybe like $80, and $80 might be pushing it at times, but for around that mark of that would be like your budget friendly microphone, and anything under $50, it's probably going to be like your lesser of the microphones that's like you know what you're getting at that point. But for budget friendly and stuff like that, that like the AM8 is like, in my opinion, is like one of the kings for that, and that at that price range. But for this, I would have to sort of get my hands on a couple other microphones that are around this price point. I can already tell you right now that I'm very happy with this microphone. The build quality is absolutely a 10 out of 10. Like it's heavy, like it's all metal. Like if I drop it, like I ain't scratching it. Like I like, especially on this rug. Like maybe if I take it out somewhere and purposely like try to throw it, I'm gonna scratch it or something. But I don't think that microphone is really gonna hit that much, because that's just the metal body alone is gonna absorb all the impact on that one. So in my opinion, this is very well built, and I'm pretty sure that the audio is matching the aesthetics, and it's probably very like I'm not even gonna lie to you. This is probably one of the most chill reviews that I've actually had on this one. Like I have so much confidence on this one, and coming from the other microphone that I showed at the beginning of this video, I was kind of skeptical. I was hoping that it was going to be this quality, because there's a price gap in between both of them. But as well, obviously, especially now as well too, you probably look on the website, you can see it yourself, because it's probably on sale or at a discounted rate at this point in time for the other one of the PD 100X. This, like I said, this PD 300X, yeah, it's probably going to replace my old microphone and be my new microphone legitly going forward. And I'm very happy about it. Like I said, as someone as a connoisseur of these microphones, and listening to them and actually getting them in and testing them myself, and trying to pick the one that's the right sound for me, because with my voice and stuff like that, I have like a country sort of twang in my voice. So it's like my pitches are a little bit differently from somebody else that doesn't have like that country in their voice and stuff like that. So with my range and stuff like that, like this, I feel like this is handling it well. I'm not seeing any spikes at all. And yeah, that's definitely something that I'm looking at that I very much enjoy. Like I said, all of the links for this will be in the description below. Again, shout out Maino for sending this over. My honest take on it is pretty daggone good. I will say this though, turning it all the way up, and even with the shock mount, as good as it is, like if you hit this microphone, you're still probably gonna get that sound out of it. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like you're not gonna be able to hear that. If I hit the microphone, you're gonna hear it. But if I'm like moving around a little bit, it's probably not gonna be something that you're gonna be like, I can hear that like that much. It's probably just gonna be something that you can be like, yeah, I can sort of hear that. Like it's faint. Like I can hear that you moved it, and if it is, most of the thing you're gonna hear that, really. And even then, when I was looking at it, like it was still like low on it, so you could probably hear that. And that, like with the springs that's in on this one, yeah, like they're pretty loud. So I'm very like I'm very impressed just out the gate with my normal settings and not messing with this microphone at all. I'm very impressed with it. Definitely probably an 8.5, maybe even a 9 after settings. Definitely probably a 9. I'll probably have to update that rank from 8.5 probably to 9 after I play with the settings a little bit, because I already know it's going to get better and better. But let me know in the comment section below if you guys can definitely hear the difference between it, and if you can definitely be like, yo, it's an upgrade, 100% an upgrade, because I do feel like it is an upgrade. Again, thank you, Mano, for sending out the microphone. But other than that, have an awesome day/night. Stay safe, and I'm out. Peace.